Listen closely. Can you hear the wind weeping through the cracks of the world? We stand at the edge of the gray void, a place where time rots and logic dissolves into shadows. Here, the air is thick with the scent of dried blood and ancient decay. In this desolate expanse, two beings exist who should have never met. One is a creature of shriveled flesh and eternal hunger, and the other is a titan of smoke and obsidian fur. This is not a fairy tale of light, but a chronicle of the darkness that feeds upon itself.
Meet the Jenglod, a tiny, grotesque figure, barely the size of a human hand, yet pulsing with a malevolence that outweighs the tallest mountains. Its skin is like parched parchment, stretched tight over bones that refuse to stay buried. For centuries, it survived on drops of blood offered by those foolish enough to seek its favor. But here, in the realm between life and death, the Jenglod seeks more than just a sacrifice. It seeks a partner. It seeks a vessel. It watches with hollow eyes, waiting for the one who guards the final exit.
Across the threshold stands the maw of the gate, a monstrous beast known only as the Sentinel. It is a creature of impossible proportions, part wolf, part nightmare, with eyes that burn like dying stars. Its breath is the cold wind that chills your soul. It has stood for an eternity, ensuring that those who enter the afterlife never return, and those who remain in the living world stay far away from the secrets of the void. It is a lonely existence, defined by duty and the heavy silence of the underworld. The Jenglod approached not with violence, but with a whisper, a sound so soft it felt like a secret shared between lovers. It climbed the massive legs of the Sentinel, its tiny claws barely making a sound against the beast's thick hide. To any onlooker, it was a fly on an elephant, but the Sentinel did not shake it off. Perhaps it was the loneliness of the eons. Perhaps it was the strange rhythmic vibration the Jenglod emitted. Slowly, the beast lowered its head, allowing the tiny horror to crawl near its ear, whispering promises of a world where they were kings.
Weeks turned into months in this timeless place. An impossible romance bloomed in the dark. The Jenglod would comb the Sentinel's fur with its sharp talons, removing the parasites of the void. In return, the beast shared its warmth, protecting the tiny spirit from the soul-crushing winds of the abyss. They became a single silhouette against the violet sky, the tiny master and the giant slave of fate. They spoke of the living world, of the vibrant colors and the warm blood that flowed through the veins of the mortals they left behind.
The Jenglod's whispers became more urgent. It spoke of a way to bypass the laws of the universe. Why guard a gate you can never enter? It hissed. Why serve a master who never speaks? We could cross together. We could rule the lands of the living. My hunger and your strength, we would be gods. The Sentinel, once a mindless guardian of order, began to feel the sting of ambition. It looked at the stone gate, the barrier between its duty and its desire, and for the first time in an eternity, it felt a spark of rebellion.
The plan was set. At the moment when the moon in the living world was eclipsed by the shadow of the earth, the barrier between realms would be thinnest. The Sentinel would use its primal roar to shatter the seals of the gate, and the Jenglod would use its ancient magic to anchor their forms to the physical plane. They prepared for the transition, a dance of darkness and power. The air around them began to crackle with forbidden energy as the ground beneath them shook with the weight of their impending betrayal against the gods of death.
The moment arrived. The Sentinel unleashed a roar that tore through the fabric of the void, a sound of pure agony and release. The gate began to groan, the massive stone slabs grinding against each other as they swung open for the first time in millennia. A blinding white light spilled from the opening, the light of the living world, warm and inviting.
They stepped forward, the tiny Jenglod and the massive beast, united in their quest for a new life. But as they crossed the threshold, the warmth they expected felt like a searing fire.
Suddenly, the sentinel stumbled. Its massive legs gave way, and it collapsed onto the stone floor of the gateway. It tried to howl, but no sound came out, only a dry, rattling gasp. The beast felt a coldness spreading from its neck, where the Jenglod had been perched for months. It wasn't the cold of the void, it was the cold of being hollowed out from the inside. The sentinel looked down at its own body, only to see its skin turning gray and shriveled, the very life essence being drained into the tiny creature it thought it loved. The Jenglod let out a cackle that sounded like breaking glass. It wasn't a romance, it was a feast. For centuries, the Jenglod had been too small to cross the gate on its own. It needed a vessel, a massive, powerful battery of soul energy to pay the toll of the crossing. It had played the part of the lover, whispering sweet lies while slowly planting its parasitic roots into the sentinel's heart. Now, as the beast withered into a husk, the Jenglod began to grow. Its tiny limbs elongated, its skin smoothed, and it rose from the remains of its partner as a giant of terrifying power. The gate was now wide open, and the guardian was dead. The Jenglod, now a towering god of rot, stepped into our world. Behind it, the shadows of the void saw their chance. Without the sentinel to hold the line, thousands of nameless horrors began to pour through the breach, following their new king. The romance was a lie, but the invasion is very real. The night you see outside your window is about to get much, much darker. The gates are open, and the hunger of the Jenglod is finally, truly unleashed upon us all. Beware of what you trust in the dark, for even the smallest spirit can hide the largest appetite. The world as we know it is changing, and the legends of old are walking among us once more. If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, make sure to stay close to the light. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates from the edge of the supernatural. The gate may be open, but we are here to tell the stories of what comes through. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your soul guarded.